Y'all can grab a seat. Got something really important to share with you tonight as we close, and it's this, that all around the world, there are literally people that don't know about these promises, that don't know about this love, that don't have access to this truth, and that honestly need so much physically, mentally, emotionally, but most of all, spiritually, to be able to change their lives. And so tonight, I've invited two guys that I've gotten to go on missions trips with. Brent, who's one of our small group leaders, and Omega, who's one of our leaders here. Can you guys give them a welcome here tonight? Because for both of these guys, I got a chance to go with them on a trip last year to Guatemala, and we actually have an opportunity for you to do the same this summer, and another trip I'll talk about in a moment. But I wanted you to hear, because I think some of you are sitting there right now going, no, missions trips aren't for me. You've got hesitations. You've got doubts. You've got things holding you back. And I want you to know, these guys here, and for me, I felt the same things. And so I want you to hear from them tonight what encouraged them and what God did, not only through them in those places that we've gone, but also in them because they decided to go. And so, Omega, if we could just start with you, talk to us a little bit about your missions trip experience. What helped you? What were some of your hesitations? And then why did you go? And what was the difference that it made? Talk to us a little bit about your experience.
So a big hindrance for me was just fear, and hesitance. I was afraid. I'd never been out the country before. Never done anything like this. Never been, no more than 50 miles from my parents. So the biggest thing for me was fear. And the reason I want to talk to you guys about that is because, fear sometimes can hold you back from some very great things. And if I would have stayed too afraid to go on this trip and experience it with great people, men and women of God, I would have never had my life changed and would have been so filled with His Word and just grown so much. So that's a big thing I want to talk to you guys about. And there's just this verse that really rings with me, John 13, verse 34. God sits with His disciples, and He commands them to love. And the thing I love about that so much is that He didn't demand them, He commanded them. So He gave them the choice. With all His power, with all His glory, He gave them the choice to love. And it's the same thing with this. It's your choice to open up, to let God in, to want to serve. And there's beauty in serving. Not only do you bless the people that you show love to and express God's word to, but then in turn blesses you, as I figured and found out that when I was blessed, when I was sharing those words with those people. And it's not giving a sermon. It's not putting on a dance and a show. It's as simple as you can see up there, just building a stove and just asking them a simple question. Do you know who Jesus is?
Yeah, this right here is a picture of us, of one of the houses we went in. And here's the thing about going to a place like Guatemala is you see, and I remember you and I kind of talking about, like, I know this is real, but I didn't know it was real. There's families that you see down here. This was just an open pit, and this is their house. This is the whole thing. And they would cook over a live of an open pit inside their house. Can you imagine black smoke filling your house all day? Can you imagine sleeping in that, breathing that all day? Because they don't have what we have. And so we got to go, and we got to provide for them physically. We built this stove for them. Very, very easy to build these stoves. It's amazing. And we got to provide for them, but then it wasn't just, hey, we want to provide for you physically. It was like you talked about. We got to tell them why we're here. So often they're like, why are you here? And we're able to say, God sent us from Texas because He loved us so much, and we wanted you to know about that love. And I love that, Omega. That's what His essential message is. Like, it is time for us to go and tell them about love that has come for us and has come for them. What was that like for you in those moments? I remember one of those moments where you shared this with a family and shared this with a woman, and she just broke down in tears and accepted Christ right there in our midst. Her eternity forever changed. Tell them, what was that like for you?
It was amazing, honestly. It was life-changing. That's when I realized how real it is and how powerful God is, and how all it takes is that simple move. It's nothing crazy. You don't got to go out of your way. It's just showing them how much He loves them and how much it impacts them and how it moves on them.
So for you, it was, I'm afraid. I don't know if I have what it takes, but I'm going to trust you, God. I want to love like you, God. And He kind of showed up. He gave you the words to say. He had people around you and be able to encourage you, and it made a massive impact on you. I've seen such a change in you since we got home, of God just exploding in and through your life. Brent, we got a chance.
Second.
You're just
was-
seconding that.
and
Okay,
third
good.
And fourth.
You
Yeah.
were also on that trip with us, and
Yes.
talk a little bit about how it impacted you.
Well, I wasn't nearly as swole as Omega was.
True
so
story.
I,
You are now, though.
oh, thanks.
Yeah, because back then you weren't, but now you are.
Oh, I don't like that photo.
Yeah.
All right. No, it was really good. A disclaimer: I'm the type of guy that likes to sit in my room and play computer games all day. Yeah, exactly. Right. So, if you guys think that's a barrier to being called and going on this type of trip, please don't let it be. This is the missions trips that Doxology does, that everyone does, are really set up to let everyone succeed that goes. But the big driver for me, and Omega touched on this a little bit, is the purpose that we're called to. We don't serve a God who only serves like the people in his clique, right? He calls us to go to the people who we don't know, the people that are lost, the people that are broken, the people that need help. You can see Fort Worth as a mission field, and that's awesome. I really hope you do. But at the same time, we have opportunities to impact people thousands of miles away. And to be honest, Nate and Omega attested to this, building that stove isn't very hard. Sharing the gospel isn't difficult. It's just taking that step and taking that leap of faith that we may not know what happens, right? But it's still taking that step of obedience, even in the face of hesitation, that we're able to grow, that we're able to ignite a spark like Omega. Secondly, like the community and the people that are there are so cool. The people that you go with are you're going to have those relationships and those memories for your entire lives. I still remember both times I've gone. I've loved each and every trip, specifically for those memories. I'm friends with a couple of the Guatemalans on Facebook. All they do is post memes. It's great. I don't know what they say because it's all in Spanish, but hey, it's still pretty funny. And finally, it's just a lot of fun. To be completely honest, every time I go, every time I get on the plane that's about to head out from Houston to go there, I'm ecstatic with joy. It's really cool and really awesome to be able to serve in that way. So,
Yeah, we laughed a lot. We certainly enjoyed an incredible country. They taught us so much. We got to hopefully bring some hope to them. And we just want you to hear this could change your life. So would you just thank these guys for sharing a little bit of their story? Thanks so much, guys. I want to give you some details, okay? So if you're sitting there going, okay, I hear that. And by the way, 63 people last week, in 1 week's time, 63 people came to know Christ. Does that get anyone else excited about what happened in Guatemala last year? In 1 week's time, 63 people's lives are changed forever. And it's not just their lives that are changed, because they have family, and they have friends, and they have an entire community that doesn't know about the hope of Jesus Christ. And you can be a part of that this year. And so we've got 3 different opportunities for you to go. The first one is actually just a high school only, so high school and up. And by the way, your families, your parents are invited to go with you. I know that might seem like, oh, why would I want my parents to go? Because it's about more people going to bring the gospel, okay, to bring light. The more people that go, the more stoves we can put in. How many of you guys think it is tragic that they literally are breathing air every day that's killing them? Okay, if you're not raising your hands, you're not listening, right? And the more of us that go, the more stoves we can put in, the more schools we can go to, the more hope we can bring. So yes, your family is invited to come with you, your mom or your dad. If your mom or your dad can't come, that's okay. We'll figure out a way for you to go along with one of our small group leaders. Many of you small group leaders need to go with us this year. We need to go out and force bridge into this community. But the first one is Coney Island. This is high school and up. It's March 7th through 14th. It's over your spring break. And we're going to be coming alongside of Graffiti Church to serve one of the most impoverished places in Coney Island, New York City. It's historic. It's incredible. But there's a lot of people coming to the United States right there that need to hear the hope of the gospel. And Graffiti Church is doing that. And we're going to be meeting them, serving them in practical ways, going to schools, and earning the right to tell them about Jesus by serving their needs and by praying for them in places where the gospel, surprisingly, right here in the United States, is barely known. So that's one of the trips. If you're a high schooler, you can do that one. But if you're a middle school student or high school student, and again, your families are invited too, we've got 2 opportunities to go to that exact same place that the 3 of us went, Guatemala, on June 6th through the 13th, or July 11th through the 18th, and we are going to be changing lives through serving them, through putting in stoves. And if you're like, Nate, I could never do that. I am an idiot when it comes to putting things together. Trust me, okay? The way I fix things at home is I call somebody. Please help, right? And I could build these stoves. Like, you're going to have an opportunity to help in these medical clinics, to go to the schools. And all along the way, we're going to get a chance to interact with this community that is so loving and inspiring, all while we serve them and tell them about the gospel. So June 6th through the 13th, 2020, or July 11th through the 18th, I'm going on that one. Me and my daughter, Nora, are going on that trip. I want you going with me. I want you going with me. And maybe not that trip, but maybe one of the other trips. So here's some questions I know you might be asking. Nate, what if I've never been on a trip before? You're fine. We will take care of you every step of the way. There's going to be 5 meetings to get ready. We're going to have an awesome team around you. The partners are ready for you. It's going to be amazing. Is it safe? Absolutely. We work with incredible people who take care of us there, and we will make sure that you're safe. How do I pay for it? There is a cost. There is a cost. But let me tell you this. Every time we fundraise together, and if you're willing to do the work to fundraise, every single person who's willing to do the work will get to go. Because literally we have college students every summer that raise $5,000 each to go for 2 months to another country that doesn't know about Jesus. You and we can raise a lot less than that to go on these trips. We will do it together. That's why we're having a meeting on coming up on the 15th, I think, our first meeting to tell you how to do that. And we do it together, and we raise it as a team. If you're willing to work for it, we can pay for it together. What if my parents can't go? Like I said, we're going to have lots of small group leaders go, right? Small group leaders, right? Okay, they're thinking about it. But I'll be going. Other people are going to be going, so you can go. We can work that out. And the deadline to sign up is this Sunday. So here's the thing. I know that some of you have been thinking about it and thinking about it and thinking. It's time to stop thinking. God is saying, go. We're saying we're with you. So what you need to do is you need to sign up by this Sunday. Now you're like, okay, Nate, but I got to talk to my parents. You're right, you do. You can't just sign up for this without having your parents in on it, right? So here's what I want you to do. Get out your phones. Everybody get out your phones. Get out your phones. If you don't have a phone, that's okay. I'll give you another way to do this. But if you have your phone with you, get out your phone, okay? Let's go ahead and go to the next one. And I want you to type this number in. This is just our church little number that you can send text into, 817-382-9708. Go ahead and plug that in, 817-382-9708. And if you're going, Nate, I think I might be interested. Nate, I think maybe I could go. I got to talk to my parents, but I think I could go. I want you to put that number in, and then I just want you to text that number right now with your name and your parents' names. And then I will send a text back to you with all this video that you can show them, and then the links on how to get signed up and more information. This is not you signing up for the trip. This is just you saying, yeah, Nate, I think maybe I should go. I want more information. That's all it is. It's just saying, I want more information. So go ahead and send that right now. Go ahead and click send with your names and your parents' names, and then I will get that information to you by tomorrow, and you'll be able to show this to them. You'll be able to talk about it, because when is the application due? This Sunday, the 8th. The apps are due this Sunday, the 8th, and I want you to go with me, okay? So let's get the promises of God out there. Anybody else excited about that? Anybody else feel like that's a good thing for us to be doing? Okay, awesome. But here's the other thing I want to tell you about. We need to be for across the world, but you know what we also need to be about? For our neighbors right here. And that's why next week we got something pretty legit planned. Now, I need to ask a few of my friends, Ethan Pope, Connor Opitz, Adam Romack, and Danielle Stacy. Would you guys just stand up? Would y'all just stand up wherever you are, okay? I think we got a couple of them here. Danielle's back there. I think Ethan couldn't quite make it. Okay, now, stay standing. I want you to turn around, guys, and give these 3 people a good look, and Ethan will be joining them next week. They are volunteering. Listen, this is a great honor. They are volunteering to look like complete idiots next week for our entertainment. How many of you guys are thankful for that? Right? Complete idiots, right? Because next week is our Christmas tree pageant at our Christmas tree bash, and they will be our contestants competing for your votes to see who's crowned the pageant winner. And these guys have pageant written all over them. Danielle, good luck. You're going to have to bring your A game. But we are going to have a lot of fun. We're going to have Christmas pajamas, hot chocolate, Mr. Christmas tree competition. We are going to have an unbelievable time. Here, listen. I'm going to next week, listen, explain the gospel in such a profound and deep way, straight from God's word, that if you have a friend that you know needs this hope, listen, it's time to invite him. The night's going to be so fun. We're going to laugh a ton. We're going to have some great surprises. But at the end of it all, I promise you, in a way that they can understand, I'm going to explain who Jesus is and how he changes our life as we follow Jesus, but how he can change their life if they choose to follow him. So invite a friend. Be bold. Just like we need to go to the nations and be bold, as we travel across the world, we need to be bold by inviting that friend at the lunch table. Hey, why don't you come to the bridge with me next week? So think about a friend. Small group leaders, I want you to challenge every single one in your small group to think about one friend that needs to go, that we need to invite with us. And small group leaders, I also want to ask you, in your folders, I gave you little information sheets on all the mission trip stuff I just explained. If you could please hand those out as well. We just want to make sure everyone has that information. So, who's excited for next week? Okay? Who's excited to see them act like idiots? Okay? Who's excited for some people to meet Jesus for the first time? Okay. All right, awesome. Well, I'm going to dismiss you guys. If you're new with us and you don't